and there will be baseball as the Chicago Cubs face the San Francisco Giants. And it ought to be a dandy.
Well, it should, because it's a battle of left-handers. Dave Dravecki goes to the mound for San Francisco. Jamie Moyer, with an 8-6 record, goes to the mound for the Cubs. And, Harry, there's going to be some adventures in the outfield with all this wind.
I remember before I started the season broadcast, when I was watching the games in Palm Springs, one game that you had here with McSherry trying like the devil to keep his hat on. The wind was blowing it from home plate all the way to the center field wall. We're going to have more of the same tonight.
And we're also going to see Brian Dayette in the number 4 spot. There should be some balls going out of the ballpark in right center because the wind is howling.
And tonight we do not have Steve Trout in the Cubs uniform. We'll be back to talk more about that following this. With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Candlestick Park. For the Cubs, Dernier in center, Sandberg at second, Dawson in right, Dayette in left, Moreland at third, Durham at first, Davis the catcher, Noche the shortstop, and Jamie Moyer, who has won 8 and lost 6, will be the pitcher. For the San Francisco Giants is Robbie Thompson at second, Mitchell at third, Leonard in left, Brenly the catcher, Davis in center, Chile, Youngblood in right, Clark at first, Uribe at short, and Dave Dravecki, who has won 4 and lost 7. He used to be with the San Diego Padres until a week or so ago. The umpires are, and now you can tell how cold it is, can't you? Bob Engel, Joe West, Randy Marsh, and Paul Runge. It seems strange. This is the first game, and we hardly have had a chance to mention it, that Steve Trout is not a member of the Cubs.
And the Cubs did get 3 young pitchers in return. One of them elevated to the Major League roster, and that's Bob Tewksbury. So apparently Harry will be playing by the Marcus of Tewksbury rules for the rest of the season.
He's a 25-year-old kid. He's about 6'5". He had some success with the New York Yankees. I think it was last year, the year before. But he's had a little trouble hitting a consistent stride. Maybe with the Cubs, with a chance to pitch regularly in turn, and he's going to pitch Monday, by the way, in San Diego, his first start as a Cub. Maybe he'll do well.
Well, when he was first signed by the Yankees, Harry, he had a blazing fastball, timed at upwards of 91, 92 miles an hour. Then he had some elbow problems, and he didn't have the Tommy John operation, but they did have to reroute the nerve in his elbow. He said then for a couple of years he didn't throw quite as hard because he said he didn't feel like he had that strength in his arm. But now the velocity is back up. He says he's been timed now 87, 88 miles an hour. And it's just, as you say, a question of consistency. He's got to believe that his arm is healthy and that he can hit his spots, because he's not going to overpower anybody.
You think he's going to pitch 2 shutouts in a row the way Steve Trout had?
No, I don't think that's what they have in mind. I think, Harry, it was quite frankly a trade for the future. They got 3 youngsters back who they're hoping are going to contribute to the ball club in the years to come. And like so many teams that are in contention, the New York Yankees wanted somebody to put them over the top right now, and they feel that somebody is Steve Trout. So we'll have to see how this trade works out. You really can't evaluate it now as far as the impact on the Cubs. I know Dallas Green is hoping that the 3 men that he got in return are really going to help him.
We not only have Tewksbury in Cub uniform as a member of the Cubs, they brought up infielder Luis Quinones, sending Mike Brumley back to Iowa. The Giants are taking the field. Doesn't he look a little old? 40 years old now. Oh.
Harry, I had a great all-star break. I went down to Phoenix, looked at our restaurant. I had to go over the taxes. It's a tough situation. So you can say over the all-star break, I was deep in the heart of taxes.
Yeah. How come we're still making so much money and I haven't seen a nickel of it yet?
Well, I told you you're going to get a return in 87, when you're 87.
All right, we're ready to play the gal. Patrice Easley threw out the first ball. God, I hope that Moyer's got More stuff on his fastball than that gal had.
And the Cubs are hoping that Dave Dravecky doesn't have too much stuff tonight. He's making his first start in Candlestick as a member of the San Francisco Giants. However, the Giants remember him very well at Candlestick. In fact, he tossed his only complete game of the year against the Giants here on June 14th. It was a 5-hitter. He beat Mark Davis 4-1. And for the year, he's 4-7 with a 3.90 ERA in 32 games. 12 of them have been starts. This was a situation for San Francisco where they needed somebody to keep them in the race. They feel that Craig Lefferts, Dave Dravecky are the two pitchers that they really needed to put them over the top. And with the injuries in Cincinnati, they lost Oster and they lost not Larkin, but they lost Cal Daniels. They feel the Giants at 3 games back, they're knocking at the door, and they think Dravecky's going to help them.
Dravecky's won 4, lost 7. He's 31 years old. He's out of Youngstown, Ohio. Went to Youngstown State University. And we're ready to play ball now. And leading it off for the Chicago Cubs will be Bobby Dernier, hitting .370 for the year with 4 homers and 13 runs batted in. Charlie Moran working with us here in the booth. Joe Carneo, also from Chicago. Pete DeLanzo, one of our cameramen, and an old friend from Tommy O'Leary days at the Key Club, Doug Stewart. Sitting here with Wayne Vriesman, who I guess is his boss. Nice place to be. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. Fastball high. Bobby Dernier. A cold, windy day in San Francisco. That evens a count, a ball and a strike. I don't know whether it's the wind or our vantage point, but Dravecky looks awfully fast. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wide.
Well, he's not really a fastballer, but it looks like he's got pretty good stuff tonight. Bobby Dernier, I'm sure, is going to try to pull him.
To the shortstop. He's up. Uribe's throw in time. Bobby Dernier grounds out to Uribe at short. 1 out. That brings up Ryne Sandberg, hitting .288, 12 homers and 35 runs batted in.
Dravecky's 4-2 lifetime against the Cubs with a .352 ERA. He's been in 15 ball games against them, and he depends on location. He cannot overpower you. He's got a big slider to go with that sinker that he likes to keep away from the right-handers. You've got to hit Dave Dravecky to the opposite field if you're going to have some success. He likes to drop the ball over the outside corner. If you try to pull him, you ground a lot to the left side.
Strike call over the outside corner. They have Jeff Leonard in left, Chili Davis in center, Joe Youngblood in right. Ground ball. Easy out. Kevin Mitchell throws out Sandberg. 2 up, 2 down. And the way the first 2 hitters have gone, it looks like Dravecky's sinker is working good.
Well, so far, that left side of the infield has been busy, as you would expect, and Roger Craig said something real interesting about Kevin Mitchell. He said from what he's seen, he can field every bit as well as Chris Brown. We don't know how that's going to work out over the long haul, but right now, Kevin Mitchell has been a very pleasant surprise with the glove. You know he can swing the bat, and he gives him a lot of versatility. He can play 6 different positions.
Here is Andre Dawson, hitting .299. There's a drive in the center field, going to be caught. Chili Davis coming in. And that retires the side in order. We go into the bottom of the first, no score. With Steve Stone and Harry Carey back at Candlestick Park. Around 10 or 12,000 people on hand as Rob Thompson steps up to bat against Jamie Moyer. Thompson hitting .246. Curveball a little bit outside. Don Zimmer coaching at third base. Ball 2, 2 balls, no strikes. Thompson with 7 homers, 25 runs batted in. Ball 3.
This is Moyer's 18th start of the year, his 20th appearance, and his 3rd start against the Giants, so they should be very familiar with him.
There's a strike. I wish you'd done that with the first pitch. The count now 3-1. And these Giants, you can't afford to walk too many of them. They got big hitters in the middle of the lineup. Strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Robbie Thompson, the hitter. The 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Foul ball outside first base. John Vukovich is a third base coach for the Cubs. His brother Richard, who's director of operations for the Sacramento Municipal Court District, watching the game. Oh, nice play, Jamie. Jamie Moyer grabbed Thompson's line drive. 1 out.
Right back at Jamie Moyer. Not hit all that hard, although a pitcher doesn't know quite how to react to a line drive back to him, but he reaches out, stabs it, and fights back from a 3-0 count.
And there you are. There's the advantage of being a left-hander. If he's a right-hander, he wouldn't have caught that ball.
That's one of the advantages.
1 man out. And here's Kevin Mitchell. He's the guy that murdered the Cubs. In his first game as a Giant, he hit 2 home runs. A lot of games are over because of the difference in time. The pitch. Out of play. In the National League, the Mets blanked Cincinnati 9-0. Gooden was the winner. Montreal, with Yeomans pitching a 3-hit shutout, beat Atlanta 2-0. Now the pitch, 0-2 the count. Fouled it out of play. Philadelphia and Houston are tied up 1-1 at the end of 7. The Cardinals leading San Diego 3-2 in the second. Those are the National League scores. In the American League, Cleveland beat the White Sox 4-3. Milwaukee beat California 6-4. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Noche's got it. There's a throw in time. Mitchell rolled to Noche. 2 up, 2 down. What's the call letters of your Sacramento station? KC.
Batting third.
GC.
Left fielder Jeffrey Leonard.
And what's the rest of it? And KGNR. What's that? The FM? Oh. All right. We can't get you in Chicago. Here's a pitch swung on by Leonard. It's going to be caught. And it is by Brian Dayette. Jeff Leonard flies out. And at the end of 1, no score. Games. Detroit beat Seattle 3-2 in Detroit. Oakland playing at Boston knocked off the Red Sox 6-3. Beat Roger Clemens.
Number 24.
Stewart was a winner 12-7. Baltimore at Kansas City tied up 3-3. Cleveland beat the White Sox 4-3. Milwaukee down California 6-4. He fouls off the first pitch, strike 1.
Brian Dayette has just murdered left-handers, hitting .446 against him with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. And Harry, Cleveland won that ball game under a new manager. Pat Corrales is gone, and Doc Edwards has taken over the helm.
Is he an interim manager? There's a line drive by Dayette if it's fair, and it is. An extra base hit, and he's got a double. Dayette lined a double down the right field line. That'll way to hit the ball. And that brings up Moreland now.
Take a look at it. Double number 10, Keith Moreland. Brian Dayette slices this down the line. Now watch where it falls.
He might have been able to give a triple. Hadn't hit.
Well, it doesn't go down in the corner. I think he probably would have had a triple if it went down there. Joel Youngblood comes over to retrieve it. But Dayette on second base.
Wayne Coy from Burlington, Iowa. And the world's biggest Davey Martinez fan watching the ball game here. Here now is Moreland, the pit. Fouled it out of play. Now let's see the power of suggestion. Brian Day lined a double down the right field line, being a right-hand hitter. And now Moreland, a right-hand hitter. Let's see if he'll do the same thing, or try to. One strike. Hey, there's a good bunt. He's got a chance to beat it out. Nope, he'll get a sacrifice. I said he's got a chance to beat it out. Then I thought about the speed. I knew it couldn't be.
Pretty good idea by Keith Moreland. He knows he's got to get the man over. That's just winning baseball, and he bunts it. If he can get it by Dave Dravecky, he might have had a shot, but Dravecky makes the play.
And now we have a runner at third, one out. The infield comes in for the play at the plate.
This is a pretty big time at bat and a pretty big game for Leon Durham against left-handers. Last year he hit in the 220s against left-handers. This year he's hitting just 240, so he's got to show his manager, Gene Michael, that he can drive in some runs against southpaws. If he does that, he'll stay in the lineup. If not, Manny Trio's hitting about 360 or 70 against left-hand pitchers, and he's the logical candidate to play.
The infield in for the play at the plate. Strike call. Nate and Jim Ekman from Eureka, California. Die-hard Cub fans drove over 300 miles to watch his game. A little bit inside. A ball and a strike. Dravecky with a runner at third. One out. Brian Day coming down the line. Kevin Mitchell comes down the line with him. Oh, boy, a beautiful pitch. Now he's in the hole. One and two the count. One out. Durham goes down swinging. There it is, the same old trouble. Runners on third base with less than two out can't deliver. Now it's up to Jody Davis to come through.
Now, if Jody goes back to his early season pattern of taking the ball to right field, he can be successful against Dravecky. You saw what Brian Dayette did. He went the opposite way, didn't try to pull the ball away from him, and you can get Dravecky that way.
You think Moreland's play was a signal sacrifice, or don't you think that he was just trying to bunt for a hit?
I don't think there's any doubt that he was trying to bunt for a hit, but it really worked very well, getting the man in the position you want him with less than two outs. Unfortunately, the Cubs couldn't execute as Durham went down, but that's good, solid baseball on a night when you think it's going to be a close game.
I don't know about that. I'd have to argue with you. Here's a left-handed pitcher pitching against a left-handed hitter that doesn't hit left-handers. I'd rather have Moreland taking a shot at trying either getting a hit or advancing man to third by trying to get a hit. He swings and misses.
Well, as it turned out, Harry, it wasn't a very good play.
You're getting wiser in your old age, you know. Philadelphia and Houston tied up in the eighth, 1-1. The pitch. There's a drive. Right center. It's going to be caught. Youngblood raced in the right center for Davis's fly ball. It came one out too late. And we go in the bottom of the second, no score. With Steve Stell and Harry Carey back at Candlestick Park where the wind is blowing and there's no score in the ball game. We have a young man from Highland Park, Illinois, Gil Frischman, watching the ball game up here with us. Here's Bob Brenly to lead it off.
And he got off to such a terrible start, was hitting in the 100s all of April, but since April he's hitting .304. He's really on a tear. That's the reason why Bob Brenly is hitting fourth. That's the reason why Bob Brenly has been one of the mainstays now that Candy Maldonado is down. And without Maldonado, they really depend on Brenly to knock in the big runs.
Jamie Moyer was almost blown off the mound by the wind. The pitch. Swings on a slow curve. Brenly's mother and family watch the ball games. He was born in Coshocton, Ohio. Is that right?
That's right, just down the road from Columbus.
Well, I know where it is. I just want to know if the pronunciation was right. Cleveland, under its new manager, beat the White Sox 4-3.
Don Zimmer in your picture. Loves the wind here in Candlestick.
There's strike 3 called to Brenly. Bob Brenly called out on strikes. The O'Briens, Ward and Shirley from Woodburn, Oregon, arranged their vacation to be on hand.
Batting fifth,
Shirley,
number 33,
celebrating a birthday.
Chili Davis.
1 out. I didn't hear you. Here is Jamie Moyer to Chili Davis. He's shortened up as if he were going to bunt. They're here from Chicago. John Drufke and John Spaguzza, and Greg Grusek and Leo Swantek.
And not a Smith or Jones in the bunch.
No, that's the way it is. That's baseball. There's a ground ball to Memorial. Oh, he kicks the ball. An error. And Chili Davis gets a light.
Moreland moving to his left. Not a difficult play, but it just doesn't stick in the glove. Davis runs so well that you really don't get a shot at him, especially when you kick it after you drop it.
Now, Joel Youngblood. 1 out of 6 against the Cubs this year, but during his career, he's hit over 300 against them. Now, Chili Davis, a good base runner. And they like to run on Jamie Moyer.
The Giants don't do a whole lot of stolen base running, but they do hit and run quite a bit. And Youngblood, a very good contact man, so you might see it early. With the wind blowing, you'd have to figure it's going to be a close game, and Roger Craig is a very aggressive manager.
A lead. Way outside. The Cubs bat boys are making the trip, as are many of the wives and the children. Tall red-headed boy is Mike Weber, and the other is Don Welsh from Chicago. We'll show him to you later on. One ball, no strikes. There's a strike. The count is evened up at a ball and a strike.
Chili Davis has stolen 9 bases this year. He's been caught stealing 5 times. He's getting a fairly decent lead.
Yeah.
If Jamie gives him a good move, he might be able to get him at first base. He comes off with a pitch.
He might break. There's the throw over there. A Cub fan and a Bud man. Fred from St. Louis and Karen from Iowa City are here. The pitch. A bouncing ball to Moreland. Might be a double play. Out at second. He's out, though. He's out. Don't worry about it. He had already executed the force out at second base when he dropped the ball, and there's 2 out.
Randy Marsh on the call. You can tell that Ryan Sandberg has already made the play and is trying to get the ball out of his glove. We'll take another look at it. Now he's out right there.
Will Clark.
And it left his hand as he went to make the throw. Marsh very definitive on the call.
Here's Will Clark, hitting .310 for the year with 15 homers. He's had 4 hits and 19 tries this year against Cub pitching. a college teammate of Rafi Palmeiro. They were dubbed Lightning and Thunder. They batted third and fourth for Mississippi State a couple years ago.
Who was Lightning and who was Thunder?
I think Rafi was Lightning and Clark was Thunder. I'm assuming because he's hit more home runs.
Well, Clark is a very good hitter. His manager, Roger Craig, said he feels he was just born to hit, and he hits left-handers pretty well. He stays in there and takes them to left and left center field.
Whoa, there goes a runner to throw. He's got it stolen. Youngblood steals second. Boy, what a jump he had. I'm surprised that Jody was able to make it as close as it was.
Well, this is his first stolen base of the year. He's only tried one other time. And he just guessed right against Jamie Moyer, and we've seen the Cub youngsters with a great deal of difficulty holding runners close. Here's another example of it, the first stolen base of the year for Joel Youngblood.
I think Jody, Jamie, saw him out of the corner of the eye. He's breaking, but it was too late. He'd have balked if he'd have done anything else, but deliver the ball to the plate. Houston and Pittsburgh are tied up 1-1 in the ninth. Philadelphia, make that Philadelphia. And Houston are tied. There's a good fastball. Joe and Monica Beavers from Scottsdale, Arizona, made the trip here. There you look into the Cub dugout.
Paul Noce loves to go to the bag at second. Might not be a bad idea.
A high pop fly. Now watch the wind. Noce under the ball. Whoa, he makes the catch. And one man left on base as a result of the error, but there is no score at the end of two. Harry Carey back at Candlestick as Paul Noce leads it off, hitting .278 with 3 homers. Carmen and Jackie Sorrentino out here watching the game from Palatine. The Mets wallop the Reds 9-0. Ball 2 to Noce. Montreal beat Atlanta 2-0. Ball 3. Russell and Frank Godfrey from Bonteville, Utah. The pitch. Ball 4, he walked him. Second inning in a row, the leadoff man got on, and now that gives Jamie Moyer a chance to push him along.
Cub pitchers have done a very good job this year in sacrifices, especially Moyer and Maddox. They've been very close to flawless in that department, and he would like to push the bunt at Will Clark, who's got to hold the base runner on. Kevin Mitchell is going to be right in on his doorstep at third base.
Karen Garner wants to be remembered her dad, Tom Snelson, in Cowan, Tennessee. Hey, sometimes they call a balk on that first baseman moving up and then back. Moyer trying to sacrifice. He bunts. The only play will be to first base. Good sacrifice by Jamie Moyer. Thompson took the throw. One away, Bobby Dernier and Ryan Sandberg have a chance to put the Cubs in the lead. They're here from Golden, Colorado. Donna and Brian.
Center fielder,
Donna
Bob
Gardino. Ah, that's a nice name, Gardino. You can tell how hard the wind is blowing. She just left the beauty shop a few minutes ago.
And she can't do anything with it.
There's a strikeout.
Kevin Mitchell is guarding the line at third. Bobby Dernier likes to pull the ball down there. He's even with the bag, trying to take away the bunt.
Good lead by Noche. High outside. The Ashcrafts are here from Cerro Gordo, Illinois. Cerro Gordo? That sounds like it should be in Florida. Ground ball to Mitchell. Throw to first of the out. And then they throw the ball down to second base, but Noche is alert.
One of the things that Roger Craig said about Will Clark was that he's absolutely fearless throwing the baseball. He said a lot of first basemen around the league play safety first. They won't make a throw unless they absolutely have to, but Will Clark will throw to any base at any time, as Paul Noche just found out.
Second baseman, Ryan Sandberg.
Francis, who works at Billy's on Rush Street in Chicago. Her nephew watching the ball game here, John Mazabrook Jr. from Walnut Creek, California. Fastball outside. Sandberg hitting .288. 12 homers, 35 runs batted in. Noche very fast. The pitch. Oh, he had a good cut at that one. Count evens out. Richard Smith Jr. here with his family. They're from New Orleans.
Dave Dravecky started his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, never made it up to the major leagues with the Pirates. Went over to San Diego in 1981, made it to the major leagues in '82.
The delivery. Little pop fly going to be caught. Uribe there, and he has it. The Cubs fail to score again. We go in the bottom of the third, no score. With Steve Starr and Harry Carey back at Candlestick, where the wind is really blowing. The WGN TV truck, which is on the third base side, the wind is blowing it around to the first base side. That's how strong the wind is. Here's Uribe, batting right-handed, curveball outside. They're here from Peoria, Jill Vespa and Larry Whittert. Right to Moreland. He's got a good throw, will retire him. One out. And that brings up the pitcher for the Giants, Dave Dravecky, who's hitting only 130 for the year.
Batting ninth, number 43, Giants pitcher, Dave Dravecky.
J.D. from Mount Shasta. Beautiful Mount Shasta. There's a smash in the right field. Oh, boy, he threw behind him. And Jamie Moyer went over there with that thought in mind. But it's a single for Dravecky.
Take a look at Andre Dawson, always thinking, looks like he's going to take it easy, then guns it in. And Dave Dravecky, a surprised young man. Jamie Moyer couldn't handle it. Last time Jamie Moyer faced the Giants, he lost the ball game, but he took a no-hitter into the 6th inning for the 3rd time in his career.
That's his 4th hit of the season. Pitch high to Robbie Thompson. He lined out to Moyer his first time.
It's been amazing for the Giants this year. They've been terrible at home, 16-22. That's right ahead of San Diego as the 2nd worst team in the league at home.
There goes a runner. Swung on. You better hurry back. Let's see who's going to get it. Sandberg makes the catch. Nice play, Rhino. Durham couldn't locate the ball. The wind blew it away from him, and Sandberg came to his rescue.
Tough play as Sandberg stays with it, battling the wind all the way. Andre Dawson might have had a shot, but Rhino called him off. Good communication on the part of Dawson and Sandberg. And that'll show you what type of an aggressive manager Roger Craig is. He has a hit and run with a pitcher on base.
You have to be in shape to play for the Giants. Even the pitchers have to run the bases. There's Roger Craig. I think that's funny because when he was a pitcher, he never ran the bases or hit much. Here now is Kevin Mitchell, dangerous hitter. Paul Frohan from West Dundee, Illinois is here, and so's Harold Renbarger from Wabash, Indiana. The pitch. He jammed him with a good fastball. The Burks brothers are here from Bloomington, Indiana. And they're here from Kansas City. Steve Dillman and the group. Fouled it out of play.
This used to be a tough park to hit the ball out of, but it's not the case anymore. It has the third highest average of home runs per game, just about 2.5, but it's behind Wrigley and Riverfront in Cincinnati. The toughest parks, Dodger Stadium, Busch Stadium, and the Astrodome.
0-2 on Kevin Mitchell. Runner back. No score. We're in the bottom of the third. Now ready? High fastball.
Giants made a deal. They sent down John Perlman and recalled Mackey Sasser.
What was that again?
They sent recalled Mackey Sasser, so Mackey's back in town, Harry.
Now ready? He struck him out. One man left on base. Dwayne Stantz will be joining Steve in a moment. This is Harry Carey from Candlestick, where at the end of 3 there is no score.
Everyone, and welcome back to San Francisco with Steve Stone and our producer-director, Artie Harris. This is Dwayne Stantz from Candlestick Park. Typical evening, Steve, at Candlestick, and we have 2 left-handers. Good effort so far.
And a lot of people feel that this is easy to hit the ball out of as far as Candlestick Park is concerned, but we've got 2 men going at one another that are doing a pretty good job on the mound tonight.
Well, Candlestick has been a good ballpark for the home run, but tonight, with the left-hander DeVecchi and Jamie Moyer, it might be a different story. Here's Andre Dawson leading off the Cub fourth, and the pitch is a little wide, ball 1. We have Dawson, Dayad, and then Moreland due for the Cubs against the San Francisco lefty. There's a hot shot into the seats, foul down the left side. Boy, he hit that ball extremely hard.
Dave Dravecky has got to pitch inside if he's going to protect the outside corner. And Andre Dawson, looking for a fastball in, really turned on that ball, yanked it well foul. Now expect him to go away from Dawson and maybe take something off it.
This one a little close. 2 balls and a strike. Dawson has really been tough on San Francisco pitching this year. Better than .440 against the Giants coming into this game. Foul ball out of play to even the count at 2-2. Andre came into the game hitting .299. Well, we've already seen the effect that the wind has on a couple plays here. One, the catch made by Noche, and the other one by Ryne Sandberg. There's a check swing foul ball out of play.
You know, and it's not only pitchers. Everybody thinks it affects pitchers and it affects outfielders chasing the ball, but it also affects catchers. That's why it's amazing. The Giants are the best team in the National League at throwing out base runners.
Dawson's 2-2 and a high drive back into left center field. Chili Davis is there. Jeff Leonard alongside, but it's Davis who makes the catch for the out. Boy, with that wind, you never know. You can hit the ball a ton and have the outfielder catch it a good 20, 25 feet from the track. And there are other times you hit the ball, you don't have to hit it that well, and if the wind catches it, it carries the ball out of here. Here's Brian Dayette hitting cleanup. He doubled up the right side his first time, and he looks at a strike.
I played in this ballpark before they enclosed it. You couldn't drive the ball out of here in left field, but there was an alley in right center where it was very lively, and now a lot of times the ball will fly out to left.
Pitch down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And they thought that enclosing the ballpark would cut down on the wind. That certainly hasn't been the case.
This pitch in there for a strike. It's now 1-2. Well, the point you made about the wind affecting not only the outfielders but the catchers, certainly the pitchers here. More than one pitcher has had a difficult time here. Ground ball by the mound, and Uribe can't get there. Base hit into center field. So Brian Dayette is 2 for 2. He continues to hit extremely well against left-handers. 2 hits tonight. He came into the game close to .450 for the year against left-handers.
Drives this ball right back up the middle. You can tell that Uribe is not 100%. He's been on the DL 3 times with a hamstring problem. Ordinarily, he runs this ball down, but he might be a step or 2 short, and the ball goes into center field.
And here's Keith Moreland. We saw him get credit for a sacrifice his first time up. This has not been a good ballpark for Moreland throughout his career. He just doesn't see the ball well here. Dayette back in at first. So Moreland, when Dayette opened the second inning with a double, bunted him over to third, but he was left stranded. Cubs have left 2. The Giants have left 2 through the first 3. Dravecky misses. High and away, ball 1. Padres have grabbed the lead in their ball game in San Diego against St. Louis. 4-3 now. San Diego on top. That ball game now in the 4th. They had back in. Bob Forsch had hit a home run to put the Cardinals out in front 3-2. Forsch and Whitson, the pitching matchup there.
May the Forsch be with you.
You're 40 years old and you're still doing that stuff. There's a foul ball out of play. So the count is 1-2.
Keith Moreland has got to think about right and right center field. You know that's on his mind. Dravecky, again, not overpowering, but he seems to have a little bit more pop on the fastball. And that happens to San Francisco pitchers after a long East Coast trip where they're in the humidity. It's hot. They come back here, you get revitalized, and sometimes you get a little more on that fastball. Hitters aren't used to seeing it, and you might fool them early in the ball game.
Dravecky keeping a very close eye on Dayette at first. Dawson opened with the fly ball into left center, handled by the center fielder Chili Davis. Runner at first with 1 gone. Ground ball fouled again up the right side. A ball, 2 strikes the count. First of a 4-game series. Night game again tomorrow. Rick Sutcliffe will pitch tomorrow against Kelly Downs. We'll be with you at 9:30 for that one. Saturday afternoon, Greg Maddux and Atlee Hammaker, and then Sunday afternoon, Les Lancaster will oppose Mike Krukow. Schedule calls for Bob Tewksbury to make his debut for the Cubs in San Diego. There's a high pop foul. Brindley gives it a look, but the ball is out of play.
The Giants got a shot in the arm from Mike Krukow because he threw a very good ball game last time out against St. Louis. You know, he's only won 1 of his last 16 starts. Roger Craig knows if they're going to do anything in this second half, Mike Krukow has got to be a big part of it. They've bolstered their pitching staff with Dravecky and Lefferts, but they realize that a 20-game winner who can't win really puts a hole in that rotation.
All right, now Kelly Downs would have to be the big man in that rotation for the Giants. And a foul tip strikeout. So Keith Moreland is the second out in the fourth. 2 gone with Dayette still at first. And it's up to Leon Durham, who was a strikeout victim in the second inning.
First baseman, Leon
Durham came into this game hitting .294.
The Giants about 3 weeks away from getting Candy Maldonado back, and Roger Craig is hoping that it's only 3 weeks. Very seriously broken finger, and they need his big bat in the lineup.
Ground ball right side. Thompson to his left, scoops, and the throw to first is in time. Quite a play by Robbie Thompson to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and we go into the bottom of the fourth. Cubs nothing, Giants nothing. Back at Candlestick Park, we go into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Cubs and the San Francisco Giants are scoreless. A cool evening in San Francisco. At game time, the temperature in the low 60s. It's dropping and the wind kicking around, making it even more of a challenge to sit back and enjoy this one if you're at the ballpark.
Jeffrey Leonard has had his problems, although when you look at those numbers, they're impressive. He piled up a lot of those power statistics early in the year, and since then, he's really been plagued by hand and wrist problems. So the power outage has been something that Roger Craig is very concerned about over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
He goes after the first pitch and pops it up on the right side. The wind will carry this one foul, and Durham makes the catch. Well, Leonard hit .381 in May and .196 in June and had to have fluid drained off that right wrist.
And that really shows he's not 100%, but he's not the type of player to complain. He wants to play every day. He thinks he can help his ball club, certainly defensively if he's not swinging the bat well, but when you're hitting third in the lineup, you have got to produce if your team's going to score a whole lot of runs.
There's a San Francisco summer for you right there. Bob Brenly at the plate. And the pitch a little low. He started to go and checked in time. Ball 1. Brenly carrying an 8-game hitting string into this game. Bob Melvin is on the disabled list with a sprained right ankle. The pitch in there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the Giants felt all along that Brenly was the offensive half of their platoon system behind the plate, but he got off to a slow start, and lately he has been a terror.
There's a pop-up again, right side. Foul ball, tough play. Can Durham get there? Not quite. Durham digging hard into foul territory toward the San Francisco dugout, but just could not get there.
Unlike most ballparks around the league, you have plenty of room here in Candlestick for foul balls. And Leon Durham just comes up a little short, but one of the reasons why hitters might not hit as well in this park is the fact that they don't get a second chance. Many of their pop-ups are caught.
There was a pitcher somewhere who designed this ballpark.
Oh, yeah, gotta love it.
The 1-2. Down and in. 2-2. San Francisco running third in the West. They're at the 500 mark. 44 and 44. They've had a tough time at home. Foul again out of play down the right side. As a matter of fact, they are 6 games under 500 at home. 16 and 22, and if they're to really make a serious run at Cincinnati in the West, they're going to have to improve the home mark.
Roger Craig thinks it's just a coincidence. A lot of reporters asking him why they're not playing well at home. He said if I knew that, I'd correct it and they'd start playing well at home.
There's a looper into right. That ball will drop in there for a base hit. Dawson near the line to make the pickup. And Brenly stops at first with a single. Hit number 2 for the Giants. Dravecky singled into right field in the 3rd inning. Now Brenly with a base hit here in the 4th.
And if you're going to be a bad home team to stay in the race, you've got to win on the road, and the Giants have done just that. 28-22 on the road. They're second in the league behind the St. Louis Cardinals in that department.
Here's Chili Davis. He reached on Moreland's error in the 2nd inning. He's hit .345 against the Cubs this year.
And with the conditions tonight, for the first time, you're seeing 2 Chili Davises.
Give you 3 days rest. There's no telling what you're going to come up with. The runner goes. The pitch is low and no throw. Bob Brenly has his 7th stolen base of the year. He is 7 out of 10.
You don't expect catchers to run, but when you give him an opportunity like Jamie Moyer gave him here, boy, he's off to the races. No chance at all for Jody Davis to make the play. That's the 2nd base runner to get a tremendous lead against Jamie.
1-0 the count. This pitch hit high and deep to left. Dayette back on the track, and he will have room as he makes the catch. Brindley tags on his way to third, and he'll make it. A high drive, boy. Moyer got that ball up, and Davis jumped on it. Chili's hit 6 home runs right-handed.
And with no wind, this ball is out of the ballpark because Chili Davis hit it very well. Dayette has got just enough room to make the catch. And pretty good base running by Bob Brenly. Many times you see a base runner go halfway and a fly ball to left field. Brenly able to advance.
2 gone, and for the first time tonight, the Giants have a man as far as third. Dayette was on third back in the 2nd inning for the Cubs and was left stranded. Now Brenly at third, 2 outs in the 4th inning for Youngblood. Youngblood reached on a fielder's choice his first time and stole a base. So officially he's nothing out of 1. Pitch too high, ball 1. Youngblood filling in for Candy Maldonado. This is the 10th start for Youngblood this year. One ball, 1 strike. Gene Michael with Herm Starrett alongside, just to his left. Off speed, popped up, foul ball right side. Durham makes the catch and can't hang on. Well, Durham making adjustments because of the wind. Grabbed the ball, had it, and lost it. And Youngblood is still alive.
Jamie Moyer giving him a little pat, letting him know that he's going to try to get him anyway. It looked like Leon Durham was going to make this catch. Then he just lost control of the ball. And they're going to give the bull an error on this. He was under it. Just fell out of his glove. You can see he never really closed the glove around the ball.
That's the 2nd error of the ball game charged to the Cubs, and the 6th charged to Leon Durham this year. You don't make excuses, but that's a tough play and a tough error.
Well, in this ballpark especially, there are no routine pop-ups. Everything is an adventure.
So the count to Youngblood, a ball and 2 strikes. He has another chance. Fly ball, left field. Dayette racing over there. Now Dernier, and Dernier makes the catch. The wind played havoc with that one, but Dernier grabbed it, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. 1 error, 1 left. We've gone through 4, and we have no score. We're at the end of 4, no score. First game of this 4-game series. We'll take another look at that catch made by Bob Dernier to end the bottom of the 4th.
When this ball went up, it looked like it was right at Brian Dayette, but the wind kept taking it, and Bobby Dernier has to come on and turn it into a circus catch.
Leading out for the
Nothing
Cubs,
routine about that play.
catcher Jody Davis.
And here's Jody Davis to open the 5th inning for the Cubs. Dravenkie's pitch down and in for a ball. Jody came into this game hitting .247. He was hitting .247 last year at the All-Star break with 11 home runs, same as this year. There's ball too high, 2-0. Davis to be followed by Noche and then Moyer. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike the count.
Dravecky is not overpowering, but he does have a good enough fastball to get it up and inside to right-hand hitters. And so far, he's been tying up the Cub hitters. And he's got a pretty good pop tonight.
Foul ball. That's going to be out of play to even the count at 2-2. Well, Dravecky is making his 13th start of the year overall, his 33rd appearance. He started the year in the San Diego Padre bullpen, made 19 straight relief appearances before he started a game. High foul, left side. Mitchell over there, Uribe there as well, and it's going to be out of play. So the count holds at 2-2, and this is the 3rd start for Dravecky in a San Francisco uniform.
Well, there was no hesitation on the part of Roger Craig. When he got Dave Dravecky, he said that he felt he was one of the toughest left-hand pitchers in the league. San Diego could never quite figure out what to do with him. He was shuttled in and out of their starting rotation. And this year, with the addition of Storm Davis, at least at the beginning of the season, he lost his spot.
There's ball 3 upstairs, 3-2. Dravecky lifetime 4 over 500, 54 and 50. Another foul ball popped straight back. Brenly will chase it, but it again will be out of play. Jody's hit well against the San Francisco staff this year. 368 against the Giants.
And if you don't hit the ball square tonight, even with batting gloves on, you're going to get some ringing in those hands. Jody trying to get the feeling back.
Dravecky misses for ball 4. That's the 2nd walk. He walked Noche to open the 3rd inning. Now Davis here to open the 5th. John Fierro, the Cubs trainer, was lamenting prior to the ball game tonight with this weather.
Shortstop.
And then down to San Diego. He says, I know we're going to have a lot of guys with a lot of sniffles and problems. Leon Durham's a little under the weather to begin with tonight. He says, coming out of the weather changes we had during the last homestand, it was bad enough. Now a cold night here in San Francisco. On to San Diego following the 4-game series here.
Well, I just left 4 days in Phoenix, and it was 114 in Phoenix. Humidity around 30%, so this feels like Alaska here tonight.
You were playing golf at noon, weren't you?
Oh, it was wonderful. Yes, I was, as a matter of fact.
Pitch is high, ball 1.
We had a big tournament there. Started at 2 o'clock. We played 4 holes.
Well, you look good for the wear, and the fact that you left 39 and came back 40, you're in pretty good shape.
It was a long trip.
Pitch in for a strike, so the count is 1-1. Noche at 278. With Sandberg back, Noche playing shortstop. Luis Quinones now with the Cubs. Mike Brumley returned to Iowa. And Quinones, who was hitting up a storm down there, has been added. So the Cubs have 2 new faces. Quinones along with Tewksbury now on the Cub roster. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. So the count is 1-2. Bottom of the 4th at L.A. 2-0 Dodgers over the Pirates. Bob Kipper and Fernando Valenzuela in that one. And the Mets shut out the Reds earlier, 9-0. First shutout of the year for Dwight Gooden. Shot foul into the seats down the right side. So the count to Paul Noce is a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield spread out with Noce up there. Now liner into right. That ball will drop for a base hit. Youngblood up with it. Jody Davis stops at second, and the Cubs have their first 2 men aboard here in the 5th inning. Runners at first and second with nobody out for Jamie Moyer. Moyer sacrificed in the 3rd. He could have a little challenge here in the 5th inning with Jody Davis down at second. Of course, Jody has been playing with that bad foot.
And one thing that Jody has to be very careful of is that Brenly does have a pretty quick release. And the easiest play to get picked off is when a guy bunts through a ball, because Jody's going to have to try to get a good jump off second. He knows he's not running well. When he's healthy, he doesn't run particularly well. Now he's running a step or two more slowly. So he'll have to be heads up. They might work a pickoff play if Jamie does not make contact on the bunt.
Moyer bunts this one all the way back over the screen. Out of play, strike one. Jamie is 4 for 4 in the sacrifice department this year.
And as aggressively as Will Clark and Kevin Mitchell are charging, I'd like to see him just draw the bat back and try to punch it through the infield. On the last defensive alignment, Thompson went to first. Both Clark and Mitchell were very close to Jamie, and Uribe went to third. There was absolutely nobody home in the middle of the diamond. All he had to do was make contact, and he had a base hit, and Jody would have scored.
We have no score. We're in the top of the 5th. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And the bunt attempt fouled again, this time off to the left. 2 strikes the count now to Jamie Moyer.
Well, I think now they'll give him another opportunity to bunt, and now the bunt shifts. Before you have 2 strikes, you want to bunt it right at the third baseman. Now all you want to do is make contact. And on this play, it's going to be very easy for the Giants to get that force out at third base. If Jamie does get it down, it'll probably go right back to the pitcher or Will Clark.
He got the bat back and took the pitch down, so the count is 1-2. Cubs have had base runners in every inning except the first. They left Dayette at third in the 2nd inning, Noche at second in the 3rd, and Dayette at first in the 4th. Now Jody Davis is at second, Noche at first, and Moyer is out trying to bunt. And it goes a strikeout for Dravecky. So for the first time this year, Moyer is unable to advance the runner, or in this case the runners, via the sacrifice. 1 gone with 2 men on. Now we have the top of the batting order, Bob Dernier.
Center fielder, Bob Dernier.
And it looks like with Jody Davis at second base, they're going to change the signs. Anytime a catcher has been on second base for any length of time, very easy for him to figure out the signs that the opposing catcher is using. They don't want him radioing the signs to Bobby Dernier, so they're going to get a whole new set of signs. And they want to call the middle infield in because they want to cheat on breaking balls. On a breaking ball, they know that the hitter is more likely to pull. On a fastball, more likely to hit the ball straight away. So they want to make sure that the second baseman and shortstop have the signs and are clear on just exactly what Brenly is going to use.
Well, Dernier tonight, nothing out of 2. He's grounded to short and to third. Right now hitting .363. And the first one too high, ball 1.
That might have been the best fastball that Dravecky has thrown tonight. He's been able to get inside on Bobby Dernier. Grounded out a couple times. The last time he broke his bat on a weak ground ball to third base. If Bobby's looking inside, he might just drill it down the line.
And there's a shot in the left field between Uribe and Mitchell. Davis will have to stop at third, and the bases are loaded. A base hit for Dernier, drilled to the left of Mitchell in the hole between short and third. And the Cubs have loaded the bases in the 5th.
This fastball up and on the inner portion of the plate, and Bobby Dernier does drive it into left field. However, Jody really can't score on the ball. With the wind blowing in, Leonard is playing close. He's got a fine arm. So that leaves it up to Sandberg.
Second baseman, Ryan
Bases
Sandberg.
loaded, 1 out. Ryan Sandberg at the plate. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have taken a 7-5 lead in San Diego. The Padres now batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Don Mattingly has hit a grand slam for the Yankees. They lead 6-0 in the top of the 5th at Texas. And Sandberg bats with the bases loaded in the 5th inning here in San Francisco. The pitch is high, ball 1.
Looks like Dave Dravecky is trying to throw a little too hard at this stage of the ball game, and when a pitcher tries to overthrow, he gets everything up. Got the ball up to Dernier, and that first one was up and away to Sandberg.
A line drive into right field. Youngblood there to make the catch. Here's the tag by Jody Davis. He will score. The ball loose on the infield. Noche goes to third, and Dernier hangs on at first. So Sandberg with a line drive into right center. Youngblood reaching up to make the catch as Jody Davis tags to give the Cubs a 1-0 lead. 36th run batted in for Sandberg.
Nice play by Joel Youngblood. He goes up, pulls it down. The relay gets away. Now Bobby Dernier might have a shot at going to second base, but he's going back to first and doesn't pick it up right away. And the Cubs go on top.
So the Cubs have the first run of the ball game, and here is Andre Dawson. Dawson nothing out of 2 with a pair of fly balls to the center fielder, Chili Davis. Dawson takes a strike. Mets over the Reds, 9-0 a final. Montreal defeated Atlanta 2-0. Houston 2-1 over Philly. That's a final. Now the stretch. And the pitch. A line shot. That's a fair ball. Extra bases into the corner. Noche scores. Dernier hitting third on his way to the plate. Here's the relay throw. Not in time. A double for Dawson. Chasing home 2, and the Cubs lead 3-0. Andre Dawson with a double. Driving home runs number 75 and 76 with his 14th double of the year. Noche and Dernier both score.
He gets this ball up and on the inner portion, and Dawson drives it down the line. So Dravecky going away from the breaking ball in this inning, and he's really paid the price for it. The Cubs have hit the ball very hard. Good base running on the part of Dernier, scoring all the way from first base.
And here's Brian Dayette. He is 2 for 2. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Cubs have 5 hits, 3 in this inning. Again, the Cardinals lead the Padres 7-5 in the bottom of the 6th, and the Dodgers leading over Pittsburgh in the 4th at LA 2-0. This pitch up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's Jeff Robinson in the bullpen up the right field line for San Francisco. Another pitch high, 2-1. Toronto over Minnesota, a final 5-2 Blue Jays. Cleveland defeated the White Sox 4-3, and Pat Corrales was fired today. Doc Edwards taking over for the rest of the year. Milwaukee 6, California 4. Detroit defeated Seattle 3-2. And there is ball 3 outside. Baltimore 5-4 over Kansas City. Again, in the 5th inning, the Yankees have a 6-0 lead over the Texas Rangers, while Oakland defeated Boston 6-3. Dayette pops it out of play, and the count will go to 3-2.
Here's a look at Roger Craig. He's looking over his lineup. If he has to flip-flop, bringing in a reliever, he wants to see who he might replace in the field. And Gene Michael, pretty happy with what's happened so far.
3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Dayette thought he'd drawn the walk. Has a word or two with Joe West, but he's out of there, and that retires the side. Cubs score 3 times in the 5th inning on 3 hits and leave a man. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 3-0 Cubs. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Cubs are on top. It's a 3-0 ball game here in San Francisco.
The official Chicago Cubs gift shop is now celebrating yet another grand opening at 445 North Michigan Avenue. Open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 and Saturday 10 to 5. The Cubs gift shop offers the ultimate in one-stop shopping for every Cub fan. So come on down, 445 North Michigan Avenue.
Here's Will Clark to open the bottom of the 5th inning for the San Francisco Giants. Jamie Moyer now with a 3-0 lead as Clark fouls the first pitch straight back, strike one.
Concern for Roger Craig. Their ball club is just 10-17 against left-handers. They have not handled them at all.
Clark hitting 7th against the Cubs southpaw tonight. He'll be followed by Jose Uribe, and then the pitcher's due to hit 3rd in this inning. Cubs on top by 3. Ground ball, second base. Sandberg has it, and the throw to first in time. Off-speed pitch gets Clark on the ground ball to second. Jose Uribe will be the hitter. 3 times on the disabled list.
Shortstop.
Uribe nothing out of 1 tonight. Grounded to Moreland his first time up there.
Hitting a lot better from the right side than he is from the left. Over 300 right-handed as you look at his average. And Jeff Robinson continues to throw. That would lead you to believe that they're going to make a change. Now it looks like Jim Gott is up and throwing.
First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Moyer coming off a tough outing his last time against the San Diego Ball Club. Matter of fact, has not won a game in 3 starts, although prior to the game against the Padres, he pitched very well in a losing effort against the Giants. He's behind Uribe, 2-0. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1.
Dave Dravecky is in the on-deck circle. So if Uribe does get on, they're likely to pinch hit. If not, Roger Craig will have a decision to make.
Ball high to Uribe, and the count is 3-0. Jamie worked 3 innings on the 8th against the Padres. Got a no decision in a 12-8 Cub victory, although he gave up 7 runs on 10 hits. There's a strike. Prior to that, against the Giants, he lost 3-0, but pitched very well. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. He struck out 8 and walked 1. Ryne Sandberg has lost his cap, and it's retrieved by Leon Durham. Durham had a little better luck fielding that cap than David Martinez did the last time we were in here, when the wind took Eddie Lynch's cap all the way to the wall in left center field. Now the pitch to Uribe, and a line drive into center. That ball will hang up there for Dernier, who makes the catch. 2 gone. Base is empty here in the 5th, and Dravecki's going to hit for himself. Mattingly's grand slam ties an American League record with home runs hit in 6 consecutive games, and he ties a record held by Lou Gehrig. He's hit 4 grand slams this year. That's his 15th. And the pitch is low, ball 1. His 4th grand slam of the year. That came in the 2nd inning in Arlington, and the Yankees continue to lead the Rangers 6-0. There's ball 2 to Dravecki. That game in the bottom of the 5th, that last report. There's a strike. 2-1. Ball 3 high, 3-1. Boy, I'll tell you, that's pretty select company for Mr. Mattingly. The 3-1 delivery. Ball 4 high. Dravecki draws the walk. Comes with 2 outs, and the base is empty in the 5th. The first walk given up by Moyer.
Getting a little nippy here in San Francisco. The weather is supposed to go down into the low 50s tonight.
Second baseman.
You like this sweater?
Thompson.
That's great.
Because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. It's the only one I brought. I didn't think it'd be this cold.
Here's Robbie Thompson. Boy, Arnie makes a very good point. Thompson takes a strike on the outside corner. This is not exactly paradise for cameramen either. To keep the camera steady in this kind of weather. Not only is it cold, but the wind. It's a real challenge. Swing and a foul ball back into the screen. 2 strikes the count. You know, and in that regard, you don't want to belabor the point, but they're a lot like umpires. You know, they really don't get a lot of credit when they do such a great job. If they do it well, no one really notices. 2 strikes the count. Foul ball right back into the screen again. Clark grounded out to second on the change, and then Uribe lined to Dernier in center prior to the walk to Dave Dravecky. Now 2 strikes the count on Thompson. Thompson missed 4 games leading up to the All-Star game with that bad back. Ground ball, left side, Noche up with it. He's gone to second out there, and that retires the side. Nice play by Noche at short to get the force on Dravecky. No runs, no hits with a man left. We've gone through 5, and the Cubs are on top 3-0. Next inning from Candlestick with the Cubs on top 3-0. We had a couple extra moments here, and we wanted to give everyone a chance to take a look at your sweaters, Steve, to see if they like it.
This is the wash and wear and wear and wear one more time sweater as long as the weather's like this in Candlestick. And you have to really enjoy the way Jamie Moyer is pitching after a couple of rough outings, Dwayne.
Yeah, you do, and that apparently is what the Cubs have in mind. I know the Steve Trout trade has been something of a controversial deal, but they feel the way that Jamie Moyer, Greg Maddux, and Les Lancaster have pitched, they can afford to make that deal and at the same time pick up, for an example, of Bob Tewksbury, who can help right now, they feel, and a couple of the youngsters. Rich Scheid, they feel, is an excellent prospect, and that's one of the things they have in mind. Moyer's pitched well again tonight.
And which Scheid does he throw from?
He throws from the left side. Well, we're not going to give you any days off. You've been sitting down in Arizona for 3 days thinking. And when you start thinking, we're all in trouble. Here's Keith Moreland. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
I know our fans were a little disappointed in that trade, or they were questioning it, but this is not a concession speech, folks. They really believe they still have a shot at the St. Louis Cardinals. And don't forget, with Danny Cox out from 4 to 6 weeks and John Tudor still not back yet, the Cardinals can be caught because that pitching staff is getting a little thin.
There's Lancaster. He'll work the final game of this series. Meanwhile, 0-2 the count to Moreland. He's jammed and chops this one to first. Will Clark handles it unassisted for the out here in the 6th inning. 1 gone, and that brings up Leon Durham. Well, the one thing the Cubs at this point feel they need is a little help in the pitching department in the minor league system. Right now it appears that they are well stocked with outfielders, and they love the progress Mark Grace has made at first base. Durham, a long drive, deep right, and Youngblood will watch this one sail out. Home run for Leon Durham on the first pitch. He got hold of that one and belted it out. That's his 16th home run of the year. And the Cubs lead 4-0. RBI number 32.
Dave Dravecky tried to get ahead with a fastball, and the Bull took it way out of the ballpark. That was a king-size home run, as Joel Youngblood's reaction will show you. He just looked up and saw how far it was going to go.
Now the Cubs, who scored 3 in the 5th, have another run in the 6th inning. This one on the home run by Leon Durham.
No doubt about this. He got it all. Youngblood looks up. That's long gone.
Pitch to Jody Davis is high, ball 1. He had homered off Mike Krukow of the Giants earlier this year, the end of April at Wrigley Field. There's a fly ball left center. Chili Davis coming on for this one, and he has it for the out. That's the 12th home run given up by Dave Dravecky, by the way. Another $100 to Cubs Care in the name of True Value Hardware. Let's take another look at the home run swing here of Leon Durham.
Well, if Gene Michael was wondering if Leon Durham could turn on a left-hander, the question is answered right here. He gets the head of the bat out and just drills it.
That's his second home run against a left-hander this year. The other one came off Fernando Valenzuela. Noche shoots this one foul down the right side. Strike one. He hit one off Valenzuela at Wrigley Field on May the 4th, and now has touched Dravecky for a home run here at Candlestick. Ground ball to third. Mitchell up with it. The throw across the diamond in time. So Noche's out of there, and that retires the side, but the Cubs come up with a run on the home run by Durham. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Cubs on top 4-0. Bottom of the 6th inning. We're having a hot time at the old park tonight. At chilly Candlestick Park, 4-0, Cubs on top.
And Jamie Moyer thinks it's just a terrific place to play as he's completely handcuffed the San Francisco Giants, who've had all kinds of trouble here at home, and Moyer and the Cubs would like to extend that.
Kevin Mitchell.
Well, here's Kevin Mitchell. He's grounded to short and has struck out swinging. 0 for 2. Four nothing Cubs on top. They've out hit the Giants 6-2. And Mitchell takes a strike call. As we all know, the Giants have had a rash of injuries, particularly to the infield. Mitchell is the 17th infielder they've utilized this year and the 9th third baseman. Foul ball up the right side, out of play.
I think what's amazing is all of last season the Giants made 61 roster moves, and this year they've made 60, and we're just after the All-Star break. So you can tell they've had their share of injuries. Roger Craig said despite the fact that it was an unusual first half as far as the injuries were concerned, he's very happy that his ball club is knocking at the door, and he thinks they're going to have a legitimate shot at it, but he thinks it's going to be Houston and not Cincinnati they're going to have to catch.
Well, he likes their pitching. Foul ball out of play again down the right side. Craig has used 74 lineups through 88 games in the first half. Oh, 2 the count. Jeff Leonard will follow Kevin Mitchell. And Mitchell is out on strikes. Third strikeout for Jamie Moyer. Second time he's gotten Mitchell tonight.
That was the best fastball that Jamie Moyer has thrown tonight. It was up and in to Mitchell. He completely tied him up. And it shows that he's still got plenty of life left in the arm despite the cold conditions.
Jeffrey Leonard. 0 for 2 with a fly ball to left and a pop foul to the first baseman Leon Durham. Leonard now at 297. Pitch high, ball 1.
There's a Dwayne Stats fan club that's followed us out to the West Coast.
Those are your passes tonight. A ball, no strikes, the count. This one outside. 2-0. That's right. You never know who's going to show, particularly here. 2-0 the count. Bouncing ball foul off to the left.
Leonard was completely fooled on that ball. Took such a hard swing he fell down in the batter's box. He's facing a man with perhaps the best straight change in the game. A good opportunity for it right here. He's behind Leonard. You know he's looking for a fastball. Jamie can throw you 2 or 3 straight changes in a row and still completely fool you. He's got that good emotion with the changeup. Fly ball into right. Dawson toward the line is there, and he has it for the second out. Strikeout and a fly ball to right. 2 up, 2 down in the San Francisco 6th. They have the catcher Bob Brindley on his way to the plate. Jamie Moyer looking for his 9th win of the year. 0-1 this year against the San Francisco Giants. Leading 4-0. Brindley now with a 9-game hitting string, and the pitch is down, ball 1.
misses again. 2-0. Cubs starting a 10-game road trip tonight. Giants are opening an 11-game homestand. They're just off an 11-game trip. They went 6-5. There's a strike. 2-1.
Very big road trip for the Cubs. They've got to start closing some ground on St. Louis. And they've had their troubles over the years on the West Coast, but the three teams they're going to play are not quite what they used to be.
Foul ball to even the count. They had a pretty good swing the first time through. And they're hoping that bodes well for this trip to the coast. A 2-2 count to Brindley. Here it is. Line foul into the seats. Cubs start this trip with a record of 47-41. 3 over 500 on the road and 3 over 500 at home.
What's that, about 6 over 500?
That's it. You've been working on your math too. There's a foul ball out of play. And the count holds at 2-2. There's a look at Bob Tewksbury, the new Cub, getting some throwing in the left field bullpen.
He thinks it's this cold in every National League park. And he hasn't seen the National League before. Tough league over here, Bob.
Off speed, he got him. Struck him out, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We've gone through 6. Harry's coming back with the score, 4-0 Cubs.
With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at the ballpark. The Cubs are leading 4-0. Jim Gott coming into pitch.
Gott is 1-0, 4.53 ERA, 26th appearance. He's got no saves. 49 2/3 innings, 46 hits, 25 earned runs on 3 homers. He's walked 31, struck out 53.
If I tore that sheet up, you wouldn't have a word to say about it.
All my ad libs are down here, Harry.
All right, here we go. With Moyer leading it off.
I could tell you he was tall.
Yeah, he's powerful, too.
Throws hard.
A lot of fans, Cub fans in Sacramento are here. Here's a pitch a little bit in there for a strikeout. Jim Gott, he's 1-1, lost none. Jamie Moyer, 0 for 1 tonight. Skip the rope to get out of the way of that. Paul Gallender and group here from Sacramento.
What was the book on Dave Dravecky? He went 6 innings, gave up all 4 Cub runs on 6 hits, walked a couple, and struck out 3.
Good to see Durham's long home run. Roll back onto the field. Here's strike 3. 1 out. That brings up Bobby Dernier. That was a good 5th inning. First, Jody led off with a walk, and then Noche got a big hit. After being behind with 2 strikes, he lined a single to right. Moyer struck out. Bobby Dernier filled the bases with a hot single to left. Jody had to stop at third base. Sandberg drove in the first run of the ball game with a sacrifice fly, and then Andre Dawson drove in 2 with a whistling double down the left field line. And in the 6th, Durham hit a homer. That's the story in a nutshell, and here's Davey Martinez batting for Bobby Dernier.
Hasn't had an opportunity to pinch hit too much. He's 0 for 2. But Martinez is hitting .306 with 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. You look at Bob Tewksbury up and throwing in the bullpen.
The first pitch in there, a beauty. Strike call. Davies had 3 homers, 18 runs batted in. Whoa, there's a wild one all the way back to the screen. There's a guy who's been writing letters from Castleberry, Florida, Meyer Pollock. He says each year he writes, he never gets his wife's birthday mention. His wife, Ruth, is 60 years old. Hooray. And now everything is all right, I guess, in the Pollock family in Castleberry, Florida. 1-2 on Davey Martinez. The pitch. Have to foul.
Bobby Dernier had to leave the ball game with a slight groin pull. He probably did it on that little fly ball. He came in to make a very good catch as it drifted away from Brian Dayette in left field.
How about watching him score from first base on that double to left by Dawson? He's got to be the fastest man on the team going from first to home. I guess it'd be he and Sandberg, I imagine. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call. So God has pitched to 2 men and struck them both out. Dave didn't exactly agree with that call. Watch this. Now here's a double to left by Dawson. Now watch. Just fair. Whistles into that corner. Now watch Dernier.
Second baseman, Ryan Sandberg.
No doubt about it. All right, 2 out. Here's Sandberg, who drove in the first run tonight. That would be a 7th game-winning hit if it ends this way. Pitch outside. Boy, this got can throw hard.
Well, Harry, he had a rotator cuff problem. It's amazing. They still time him upwards of 95 miles an hour. He's got a great slider. But what happens is he seems to throw much better when his team is well behind.
There's a pitch swung and missed.
And there's a lot of guys that fall into that same category. You can't use them as stoppers because you put them in a tight ball game, they'll make a mistake for you. But they turn out to be fairly decent middlemen because they can get you some innings where you don't want to use your short relievers.
He swings and he misses. Fastball. Norma Perry from Plymouth, California, with her friend Susan Bethel watching the ball game. 2 out. Cubs leading 4-0. That's a pitch to even the count. Dick Lee's watching the ball game. He's from Bellevue, Nebraska.
There's a good look at Jim Gott. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, with a very strong arm.
There's a high hopper. It's going to be a close play, but they get him. Gott threw out Sandberg on a high hopper. We're going to the bottom of the 7th now. The Cubs leading 4-0.
Over the fence at Wrigley Field, it's a TrueLink fence. For hundreds of styles of residential, commercial, and industrial fencing, dial TRULINK.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
We go to the bottom of the 7th, and here's Chili Davis. Lawrence Van Kooten watching the game in Downers Grove tonight. Strike call to Chili Davis. Hey, the San Diego Padres have tied up the Cardinals 7-7 in the 7th. One strike and nothing.
Chili Davis has been somewhat of a mystery man here in San Francisco. They keep thinking that he's going to repeat the year he had about 3 years back when he hit .315, but it hasn't been the case.
Good fastball. One and two the count.
There's Joe Price loosening up in the bullpen.
Boy, that wind is really, really blowing. There's a single to right. Chili Davis singles to right. That's the first inning in which the Giants had their leadoff man reach base.
Only the third single issued by Jamie Moyer, who's been very tough tonight.
Here's Joel Youngblood. He's been able to get him so far pretty well on changeups. Runner back. Chicago police from Area 2, Jim and Tom Boylan and John McClory are here. And diehard Cub fans, Bob Pat and Becky Lasco from Antioch. There's a pitch of the high. Antioch. That's Ed Hanley country. Pitch outside. Hey, come on. 3 balls, no strikes.
You know that Gene Michael really wants Jamie Moyer to finish up this ball game if he can. Lee Smith threw 3 innings in the All-Star game, and when your stopper might be a little tired, you have a hard time going to that pen, but now the bullpen is up. There you see Scott Sanderson and Frank DiPino.
Jody has pitched a fine ball game. Jody catching and Jamie pitching. Good fastball. Bob Prihoda from Glenview, Illinois, watching the ball game here. He walked him. And now there's trouble as Will Clark comes up. Nobody out.
I think Herm Starrett will probably take, and there he does, the slow walk out. The bullpen just got up and started throwing. Sanderson needs a whole lot more time than DiPino. Scott's not used to being a reliever. It's a very cold night here. So Frank will be loose. Scotty will need some more time, and Herm Starrett's going to kill as much time as he can on the mound.
That's a second pass given up by Jamie. Will Clark is 0 for 2 and a tough man to get out. Hitting .310 for the year. Dodgers are leading the Pirates 3-0. The Cardinals are tied at San Diego 7-7. And here the Cubs are leading 4-0, but the Giants threaten. The pitch. Yodi had a little trouble with that pitch, but the runners didn't move. Julie and Tom Royston and their son Gerard are here from Vancouver, Washington.
Joe Price continues to throw in the bullpen for San Francisco as we get closer to the spot occupied by Jim Gott.
Now ready? The pitch. Strike call. Oh boy, I'd like to see a 4-6-3 double play right about now. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Pickoff play, but he doesn't throw the ball.
Gene Michael might be hesitant to bring in Scott Sanderson, not because he doesn't believe in his ability, but most of the thunder as far as pinch hitting is concerned is from the left side for the Giants. Chris Spire would be probably the best right-handed pinch hitter they have.
Now the pitch. He had a cut. Will Clark went around on that one. 1-2 the count. Will pitch. A high pop foul. Everybody chasing it. Moreland might get to it. He does. And he makes the cut. Boy, that's getting rid of a tough cookie. Will Clark foul pop to Moreland.
Here's an example of where the extra room in Candlestick really hurts the hitter. Keith Moreland has a long way to run. You see him look down. He wants to locate where the stands are. After doing that, he stays with it, puts it away. That would have been in the seats in Wrigley Field.
Shortstop.
There's Uribe now. Jose Uribe. Nothing out of 2.
And Jody Davis was motioning for the outfielders to move in some. So it will be difficult for Chili Davis to score, especially on a single to right field. Dawson is very shallow and right.
He lined hard to Dernier in shallow center in the 5th. Curve outside. Some fellas here from Lombard, Illinois. Dan Duffy in the group. Good fastball. Here from Madison, Walter Christensen of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Ronald Levitsky of Northbrook.
There's Chris Spire. Uribe has 1 home run, that coming from the right side, so you don't want to bring the outfield in too far. A double would score 2 and put another man in scoring position.
Whoa. 2 balls and a strike. Spire beat the Cubs with a 9th inning double in one of the games in Chicago as a pinch hitter. 2 balls and a strike. 1 out. Uribe. Outside. Ball 3.
Roger Craig with Bob Lillis.
3-1 the count. Strike 2. And now the count is full 3-2. If he loses Uribe, I dare say Sanderson will be brought in to pitch to Spire.
But then I think you'll have to face Aldretti, who might be a little better hitter at this point. It's tough to bring in the right-hander, Harry, because you have about 3 or 4 guys who swing very well from the left side, Harry Spillman being one of them.
3 balls, 2 strikes. He whirled around, held the ball. Four to nothing Cubs, 2 on for the Giants, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Big pitch. A high fly ball should be caught, and it is by Dayette. Hey, boy, for a moment there, he almost stumbled and fell. He's looking at his spikes.
Take another look at it. You can't take any fly ball for granted here, as Brian Dayette is finding out.
Whoop, see that?
turf is a little loose in left field, apparently, and Ryan Dayette stays with it and makes the catch.
2 men out now. That was a big out to
The
get.
pitcher, Jim Gott. Number 2.
Fire batting
Chris
for Jim
Fire.
Gott.
He's been very successful as a pinch hitter, 4 for 11 with 4 RBIs, hitting .257 overall with 8 home runs and 28 RBIs. They were calling him their most valuable player the first 2 months of the season.
Good fastball hitter. 2 on, 2 out. Cubs lead 4-0. Whirls around, and that's all. Chris Spire with the Cubs the last couple of years. Allowed to go as a free agent, signed by the Giants. Good fastball. Jamie still has good stuff. He's walked 2, he's fanned 4. He's allowed only 3 hits and has a shutout. He sharpened up as if he were going to bunt. That evens it up. A ball and a strike.
That also plants the idea in the mind of Keith Moreland, and if he shortens up a step or so, that gives him a better angle to hit the ball through the left side. Nochi's playing him straight away, so there's a big gap between Moreland and Nochi at shortstop.
Now ready? The pitch. There's a hit. There's the first run of the ballgame for the Giants to the score. Spire again comes through with a single to center, and now it's a 4-1 ball game.
RBI number 29 for Chris Spire. He's now 5 for 12 as a pinch hitter with 5 RBIs. Dumps it in front of Dave Martinez. And the Giants have broken through. Davis scores easily.
And here comes G. Michael out. The hitter will be Robbie Thompson. Runners will be at first and second. The tying run is at the plate. Jamie has pitched 1 complete game this year. He was hoping to get his first shutout, but that's all for him. And Scott Sanderson's going to be coming in from the bullpen. We'll tell you all about him following this message.
Nearly 3,000 athletes will compete in the 1987 Prairie State Games at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. WGN will televise highlights on July 25th and 26th.
Scott Sanderson, who's won 4 and lost 4 and has 1 save, will be the new pitcher. And Harry Spillman's going to be the pinch hitter for Robbie Thompson.
This is going to be his 4th time out as a reliever. He's made 11 starts, 69 innings, 82 hits on 37 earned runs. He's given up a whopping 15 homers. He's walked only 20, struck out 56. And Spillman, a pretty good pinch hitter for the Giants. Harry's hitting .326 this year with 1 home run, 9 RBIs. 9 for 32 with a home run and 8 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
The responsibility for the 2 men on base belongs to Jamie Moyer. Harry Spillman, a good pinch hitter. The Giants have a lot of bats off the bench. When do they expect to get Candy Maldonado back?
Well, I talked with Candy, and he said he felt it was going to be 3 weeks. When I talked to Roger Craig about it, he said he'd be ecstatic if he could get him back in 3 weeks. Candy seems to think he's healing faster than the doctors do. But anytime you have a hand injury, obviously you're not taking any batting practice. It's going to be tough for him to get back in the groove. But they certainly need his bat in the middle of this order.
Here's Spillman. The pitch. Low fastball. Sanderson. Good hard thrower, good change of pace, good curveball. A high pop foul. Coming back near the stands. It's going to be playable, and Jody Davis catches it. Spillman fouled to Davis. Only one run out of all that, and 2 men were left on base. At the end of 7, the Cubs lead 4-1.
Jeff Robinson.
Harry Carey with Steve Stone. Chris Spires going to stay in the ball game playing second base. And Jeff Robinson's going to be the new pitcher.
Robinson with a 6-6 record and a fine 2.82 ERA is making his 48th appearance. He's got 9 saves, 76 2/3 innings, 55 hits, 24 earned runs on 7 homers, walked 38, struck out 58. One of the concerns of Roger Craig is the fact that Robinson has made now 48 appearances. Lefferts has made 40 and Garrelt's 41.
First pitch is a curveball in there. Robinson, a big guy, 6'4", 26 years old. He's in the hole 0-2. Andre Dawson now has 76 runs batted in for the year. 4-1, the Cubs lead. There's a drive. Foul into the stands.
Roger Craig wants to get some complete games out of some of his starters because with appearances in the 40s by 3 of his men in the bullpen, you run the risk of really burning them out down the stretch in the middle of August through September.
How could you burn them out playing at Candlestick Park?
Well, the arm just can take so much, Harry, and a lot of guys, when they get up to the late 50s, early 60s in appearances, just don't throw the ball the same way.
It's so refreshingly cool here. He struck him out. Dawson goes down swinging, 1 out. That brings up Ryan Dayette.
You know, it'd be nice if you did a game from the bleachers here to see just how refreshingly cool it is down there.
Boy, I can imagine. Look at it. You see him in blankets out there in center field?
You'd look like a Smurf. You'd be all blue.
What's wrong with looking like a Smurf?
Well, it's good if you wear yellow.
There's a high pop fly. Easy out. Hey, the wind made it a little precarious at the last minute. Youngblood took care of Dayette's fly ball. San Diego batting in the bottom of 7, tied up with the Cardinals, 7-7.
Third baseman.
Tunnel his relief for the Cardinals in the 7th inning. Valenzuela's got a 3-0 lead over Pittsburgh for the Dodgers. Boy, Mattingly, here's a little tap back to Robinson. He's got it. Moreland's an easy out. And so we go into the bottom of the 8th. Cubs 4, Giants 1. Harry Carey back at Candlestick Park. We're going to the bottom of the 8th, and this is a key inning. They have Mitchell, Leonard, and Brinley to start with. The heart of their lineup automatically tied the American League record with home runs in 6 consecutive games, and then he tied a club record with his 4th Grand Slam of the year. One ball, no strikes. The pitch. There's a good fastball. That evens a count, a ball and a strike. We're in the 8th. Cubs leading 4-1. Strike 2 call. The Giants have beaten the Cubs 5 out of 8. Missed with his slow curve that time, and the count is evened up. 2-2. Craig Lefferts warming up in the bullpen for the Giants. Line drive right at Leon Durham. 1 out.
Leon with a big smile on his face. I don't know if he saw that ball all the way, but he did make the grab. I think maybe part of his left hand got in the way. That was a rocket right at him.
Here's Double O coming out. Jeff Leonard. 16 homers, 44 RBIs. He's been hitless tonight, 0 for 3. Getting his first look at Scott Sanderson. Curve, a beauty, a good hard curveball. 1 strike and nothing. The pitch on the way. Slow curveball, a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch. All too high. Now watch Sanderson, the way he blows into his pitching hand on almost every pitch. Ooh, he had a cut of the fastball. And that evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
You can blow into your hand here in Candlestick. The umpire has given permission to both sides to do that.
The pitch. Ground ball to Sandberg. He's got it. 2 out. Jeff Leonard's 0 for 4. And that brings up Bob Brenly. The Giants are down to the last 4 outs. 1 this inning and 3 next.
Catcher, Bob Brenly.
Bob Brenly, 1 out of 3. Giants been held only 4 hits. The Cubs had just 6. There's that good curveball.
Harry, there's a cat loose in the bullpen. In the Cub bullpen. They're trying to corral it right now.
Why, let him run around. That's all right. There's a pitch inside. Maybe they have a lot of rats around.
It's a tough city.
1 ball, 1 strike. He swung and he missed at a mile. Boy, that's a curveball I love to see Sanderson throw. The hard curve. He just snaps it right over the plate. Overhanded curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck him out. 1, 2, 3. At the end of 8, the Cubs still lead 4-1. With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Candlestick Park. We're going into the top of the 9th. Craig Lefferts, the new pitcher now for the Giants.
He's been a good pitcher for the Giants, making his 8th appearance, a fine 2.16 ERA, 0-1 record, 8 1/3 innings. Overall, 2-3 with a 4.07 ERA in his 41st appearance of 1987.
There's Leon Durham. He homered his last time up. He takes a curve strike call. San Diego leading the Cardinals 8-7 in the 8th. Cardinals batting. There's a pitch a little outside. Leon Durham, 1 out of 3. He hit his 16th homer of the year. There's a foul ball. And True Value Hardware donated $100 to Cubs Care in Northwestern Memorial Hospital in the fight against cancer. I reminded Ed Langto in San Francisco. There's a drive, left field. It's going to be caught. Leonard is there. That ball was hit pretty good, but against the wind. One out. Here's Jody Davis. He started the big inning with a walk in the 5th. The RBIs were by Sandberg, a sacrifice fly the first run. Dawson drove in the next two, and Durham homered with 1 out in the 6th. Which will be the Budweiser play of the game. There's a high pop foul. Clark chasing and no play. He gave it a real challenge.
And smacked against the Budweiser sign. That could be the Budweiser play of the game.
I don't know whether the first run of this ball game is an important one or the following two. I'm not trying to convince you, Arnie. We allow you to make the first guess, never second guess you. The pitch. Little dribbler. Will Clark has it. Tosses it to Lefferts for the out. 2 men out, and here's Paul Noche. He got a big hit. His hit in the 5th inning after Davis had walked. With 2 strikes, he singled the right, and that set the stage for the rally to follow.
I think he's made a very smooth conversion from second base to shortstop. He's shown so far that he can handle all the plays.
How about the infield here at Candlestick? They talk about various infields. I think this infield is very, very slow. It looks like they have soaked the infield to keep the ball from going through quickly.
From a pitching standpoint, that's a wonderful idea.
The pitch. Ground ball. Uribe's got it. And we go into the bottom of the 9th now. The Cubs leading 4-1. Single. And now Scott Sanderson will be facing him.
Scott Sanderson looking for his second save. As you see, there's a few Cub fans in the stands. Big fan tour here. Cobell Travel doing the honors. And so the Cubs well represented in San Francisco.
They're trying to whoop them up. Trying to stimulate the crowd and stimulate the ball club. Lee Smith is down in the bullpen. Chili Davis hitting left-handed against Sanderson. First pitch a little bit outside.
You know, Gene Michael is hoping that Scotty can wrap it up. He doesn't want to have to use Lee if he can at all avoid it. Give him an extra day of rest after 3 innings in the All-Star game on Tuesday.
There's a strike. Good fastball. A ball and a strike. Cubs shooting for their 48th victory of the year. The pitch. Fouled it back. 1-2 the count. Chili Davis. He's 1 out of 3. The Giants have had only 4 hits. The pitch. He struck him out. Chili Davis goes down swinging.
It's the slow curveball by Sanderson. Good pitch, dipping low and in. He completely fooled Davis.
That's the second strikeout for Sanderson, shooting for his second save of the year. And now,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Aldretti, Mike Aldretti will be the pinch hitter.
He's hitting .319, 5 for 22 with a home run and 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Roger Craig really thinks highly of this young man. He said at the beginning of the year when he took him north that he hopes he did well. He didn't want to send him back. He felt he'd be a valuable man off the bench and a spot starter, and you can see by those numbers that he's been just that.
Cardinals just tied up San Diego 8-8. Strike call. Aldretti. Mike, a left-handed hitter, as you see. little bit wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aldretti batting for Youngblood. Will Clark next. Fouls it back. 1-2 the count. Sanderson's done a good job of staying ahead of the hitters. 1 man out. 4-1. Cubs lead the pit. Bouncing foul. Trying him with his slow curve that time. That's what he struck out Chili Davis with. There you saw Mike Weber, who along with Don Welsh, the 2 bat boys. That should be easy for Stanberg. 2 gone. 1 more and it'll be over. There, Jim and Sue Jablonski from Orlando, Florida.
Will Clark.
Ed and Mary Gerdau are here from Chicago. Clark's the batter, nothing out of 3. There's a strike. The Jim Smith family from West Chicago watching the ball game. There's a pitch to the low. Rosemary and Ed Smith from Naperville, and Nancy Poweski from Chicago, and Scott Miller from Elgin are here. A little high, ball 2. Tom and Nancy McMahon are watching the ball game here. There's a high fly ball. Dayette under it. Cubs win. Cubs win. And Sanderson, a brilliant job in relief. He retired 7 hitters in a row. And the Cubs have knocked off the Giants 4-1 in the first game of a 4-game series. We'll be back with the totals now in a moment. Budweiser, play of the game. The Cubs were ahead 1-0. Runners at first and third when Andre Dawson rifled a whistling double down the left field line. Now watch Bobby Dernier scoring the 2nd run of the inning. That made the score 3-0 in favor of the Cubs, and that is the Budweiser play of the game. A good decision, Arnie, a good decision. A great ball game.
And it's nice to see that some things don't change. Andre Dawson, who led the ball club the first half, comes through again tonight. Brilliant pitching by Scott Sanderson. He gave Gene Michael just what he needed. A night off for Lee Smith as Sanderson retires 7 straight and picks up his 2nd save of the year.
And Jamie Moyer wins his 9th game of the year.
You know, Harry, at every level, Jamie Moyer has been a winner. Tonight he had pretty good stuff, but he's shown on occasion that he can win with less than his best. And at 9-6, you'd have to say this is shaping up as a pretty good year for Jamie.
Well, you know, I know when guys get a little older, they have to have a little more sleep, so I'll let you go now.
Okay, I'll see you later.
All right, I'll be back with the totals in a moment. Here they are. For the Chicago Cubs, 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, a winning pitcher, Jamie Moyer. He now has a record of 9-6. The save belongs to Scott Sanderson, and it's his 2nd of the year. The game-winning RBI belongs to Ryan Sandberg, his 7th of the year. And for the Giants, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. The losing pitcher, Dave Dravecky, he now has won 4 and lost 8. I don't know about you, but you know how I feel about it. I'm a Cub fan, and I'm a Bud man, and I hope you are too. With Steve Stone, Harry Carey from Candlestick, were $16,235 paid to see the Chicago Cubs beat the San Francisco Giants by the score of 4-1. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We'll see you later. So long, everybody.